Hey guys, what is up? Red Pen Mining here. How you guys all doing? Hope you're all doing really well and having a really great day. In this video, I'm going to be going through how to build an RTX 3060 mining rig. Okay, these are not TIs. These are the 3060 LHR V2s. And I'm going to go through all the parts that I have here, as well as going through step by step building this mining rig, and also going through the install of HiveOS on an SSD using a USB to SATA adapter on like a regular PC, and also how to set up HiveOS in terms of the overclocks and the flight sheets and getting your wallet and all that kind of stuff, step by step into getting it mining in either Ethereum, Ravencoin, and maybe Ergo. I'll go through 3 different coins in this video, maybe near the later half of this video, just setting it up in HiveOS and getting it mining. And I also want to show you guys the power consumption for the whole mining rig, all right, the 3060s on my Space Goats power meter here, as well as my PDU also has volt amp meter, so we can see generally how much power it is taking. As you guys know, maybe have seen that I did do another video on how to build a 6600 XT mining rig, and then I do have a new A2000 RTX A2000 mining rig here, and these are very, very efficient GPUs for mining. But in case people cannot get their hands on those GPUs, here's another option, RTX 3060s. And so stay tuned. I will have another video comparing the efficiency of this rig compared to the 6600 XTs and the A2000s in terms of mining Ethereum or Ravencoin and maybe a bunch of other coins as well. Alright guys, so let me explain all of the parts here that I have for this mining rig, and of course I will have timestamps to everything what I explain down below. Okay, so first things first, let's start with the mining frame. So I have one here from miningcave.com. Thank you to Mining Cave. They've also sponsored this video. They have sent me the mining frame here with the risers already pre-installed. So this is one of the options that you can purchase on their website, but they also have an option to purchase a whole rig kit, which includes the power supply and the risers and the motherboard, CPU, RAM, and the SSD, everything all pre-configured, already pre-built in a Mining Cave box. So if you decide to buy one of those rig kits, it'll come all pre-assembled already. And so what we're doing in this video, it's not a rig kit, but you can buy the individual parts if you guys wanted and build this whole thing yourself. So links down below if you guys are interested in any of the parts that I show here today. So this is a Mining Cave frame. Of course, there are many different mining frames out there that you could buy. There's many different options out there. You can even make one yourself with like aluminum angle and wood. Very simple, but it's probably easier just to buy one online. But depending on what your budget is and how much time you have, there are many options of different mining frames out here. But anyways, I have a Mining Cave one here, 6 GPU mining frame, and it comes with the required hardware, also a power button, which I'll show you guys how to install on the mining motherboard. So good segue. Now the next part that we have here is the motherboard, and this is from miningcave.com. So this mining motherboard actually has 12 PCIe slots, but we are only going to be using 6 today because we have 6 RTX 3060s, and so I'm going to be plugging them into these first 6 slots here that you guys will see later on in this video. Now it also comes with a CPU and also a stick of RAM. Now this is also a kit that you can buy on Mining Cave if you guys are interested as well. Awesome motherboard. I'm already using it on a few other mining rigs here like I talked about in the beginning, and they are just perfect. I love them so much. And another great thing about this motherboard is you do not need to set anything in the BIOS. It has all of the BIOS settings already changed for you, so it's basically plug and play, and you don't need to hook up a monitor or anything to get it going, especially if you're going to be installing HiveOS which I will show you guys later how to do on the SSD. So that's the motherboard, link down below if you guys are interested. Next up is the RTX 3060s. Now this is gonna depend on if you guys can get your hands on these or not. Generally, as of right now, as of recording, these RTX 3060s can cost up to between $600 to $1,000. I've seen different prices out there. Of course, try to buy these GPUs at like MSRP, or at least under, I would say max I would pay for these right now would be maybe $550 or $500. There are places where you can buy these for under $600. So just do your own research. But anyways, these have one single 8-pin for power, and these are the dual fan models. I'll show you guys the hash rates and power consumptions later on in this video. Okay, next up we have then lastly the heart of the mining rig, which is a power supply. We're going to be using the Mining Cave Mining Expert 1600 watt 6 GPU power supply. And I have to say, I've had really great experience with this power supply now, and the greatest thing about it is that it has a lot of PCIe connections, especially if you're going to be building a 6 GPU mining rig like we're going to be doing today. Okay, so the greatest thing about it is that it comes with 6 PCIe for the risers, okay? 6 dedicated 6-pin PCIe for the risers, for the power. As you guys can see here, we're going to be plugging them into here, okay? And then it also has another 6 strands for the GPUs. So I will show you guys how the strands will work when I install the power supply, and I will show you guys how the strands will work and plugging them into the GPUs for the power. So we'll do that later. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's all the parts that we have here in order to build this whole mining rig and get it going. Okay, my friends, of course, maybe you might need a screwdriver and some cutters and maybe some cable ties, which is, it depends if you want to cable manage your rig, but of course for me, I will be doing that. So I'll show you guys that when I build the whole rig and get it all cable managed. Okay guys, so the next step we need to do in order to get this rig going, we need to install first the motherboard onto the mining frame. So this mining cave frame has already the motherboard standoffs, and whatever mining frame that you buy out there will probably have some type of motherboard standoff. So we're gonna place the motherboard on these 6 standoffs, and it's gonna be really easy, just like so. Okay, make sure you line it up on the standoffs, and then we just have to simply screw in all the 6 standoffs on the motherboard here, just so that it stays still. Now, some of you guys may not get this motherboard. There are many different motherboard combinations out there that you can use for mining. In this demonstration, I don't show how to install the CPU and RAM, but I do have many other videos out there how to build a mining rig from scratch for a motherboard that needs to put a CPU and RAM in it. All right, so check those videos out. I'll put it up on the screen here. Okay, I already put in all 6 of the screws, and I just want to touch on, just in case other people don't get this motherboard and maybe buy a regular ATX motherboard with 6 PCIe slots, or maybe even 5. I have many videos on my channel showing you don't need to buy a mining motherboard in case, depending on where you live, what the cost of them are. There are many different options out there. So in that case, you most likely will then need to get a monitor, also a mouse and keyboard, because you'll need to set some BIOS settings such as 4G decoding and also PCIe Gen 1 or Gen 2 or Gen 3. Maybe those settings you need to keep it at auto. And then the third option is, depending on the new generation chipset motherboards, you may need to disable CSM or enable it. CSM is an option that is notorious for a lot of people that maybe can't get past a couple GPUs or something. And then the fourth option is AC power loss, where when you have the mining rig off or you lose power and you flick the switch on your power supply or your PDU or whatever your mining rig is plugged in, it will automatically turn on, and you don't need to plug in the power adapter or the power button in order to turn on the motherboard. There are other BIOS settings that you can turn off, as like HD audio, you don't need to have that, serial port, maybe extra SATA ports you don't need, just to free up some resources on the motherboard. Anyways, next step, we're going to be plugging in the power button that came with this mining cave frame, and that is going to go onto the front motherboard header right here, and this goes on these 2 pins right there. Okay, so depending which motherboard you have, just check the manual for the motherboard. Okay, and yeah, there's the power button, just in case you can turn it on this way as well. Okay guys, next step is we're gonna install the power supply. So with this mining cave frame, it already has 2 pre-drilled holes, which we're gonna screw in the power supply right here. Okay, so let me do that right now. All right, the 1600 watt mining cave power supply is installed. You guys can see. Now I want to explain the PCIe cabling, or all the power cables that is needed to basically run this whole mining rig. All right, this is the heart of the mining rig here, is the power supply. So to first start off, we got the 24 pin and also the 8-pin CPU. So that's gonna go into the motherboard here and also over here. Now this motherboard only has a single 4-pin for the CPU, so all we need to do is just cut this in half, and you basically just go like this. You just push it off together. There we go. So we just need to utilize just a single 4-pin. Some motherboards require 8, some require 4. Okay, so I'm gonna plug this in right now into the motherboard. Right, goes like this, like so. And you know what? I'm gonna need 2 hands for this, because you want to make sure you want to place your hand under the motherboard just a little bit, so you get leverage, so you don't bend it too much. And also we're gonna plug in this into the CPU. So that's gonna go right here. Make sure you line up the notches. Okay, there's a notch here, and you can feel the notch on the 4-pin on the motherboard itself as well. And we're gonna plug that in like so, just like that, and that clicks in. Okay, so that's good. Okay, we can do cable management later when it is, we'll do it later. Okay, so while that's all plugged in, the next cable that we have here for the power supply, or on this 1600 watts specifically, is the Molex and SATA cable. So the SATA one will be used for the SSD, okay, the Kingston SSD that we have here. And then the 4-pin Molex that we have here is going to be utilized for just the fans. That's all I have for this mining rig. You guys can use it for other stuff as well, maybe to power your risers if your risers have Molex in it. But I specifically recommend, which I'll talk about in a sec, is to use PCIe. But in my case here, this Molex connector is going to be used for fans in my case here. So Mining Cave already made me like a pre-made fan hub here, and I simply have to plug it into this Molex connector you guys can see here. So I will be doing that near the end of the video, just so that it's just to have some airflow amongst all the GPUs. Okay, so that is this cable. The next one now is, I'm gonna show this one. These are the 6-pin PCIe cables for the risers. So these 6 pins are going to go directly into the risers right here. Okay, so we have 6 different risers, and we're going to plug them all, each of them, into here. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. These 6 are devoted for the risers. Now we have another set of PCIe cables here, and these are going to be utilized for the graphics cards. Okay, so for each 3060 that we have here, and there's 6 different strands, we're going to devote a single strand coming from the power supply like this, okay, for the GPU. And so since our GPU only has a single 8-pin, that's all we need to utilize for each single strand. There is a daisy chained 8-pin on the cable, but we do not need it. Now this 1600 watt power supply is actually capable of handling, yeah, up to 1600 watts, but realistically the 80% rule, you know, I wouldn't go past 1300, maybe 1350 on that power supply. So you could run maybe at max 6 3080s, but you got to make sure you have them undervolted and the right overclock settings if you're going to use this for 6 3080s. 3070s, these will be no problem. 3060 Ti's, the power supply would be no problem, and of course we're doing 3060s, so maybe it's a little bit overkill. We're using this power supply for 6 3060s. I will show you guys the power consumption for this whole rig once we're all done setting it up in HiveOS and stuff. I would not use this power supply for like 6 RTX 3090s. 6 3090s in my experience takes about almost over 2000 watts. So a 1600 watt power supply will not be enough to power 6 3090s. just be mindful of that, okay guys? You gotta understand the power capacity and the TDP of the cards that you are gonna be using for mining, because you wanna be safe in that regard. Okay guys, so hopefully that explains the power supply. This is something that you guys should definitely put in the time just to understand what you're using, all the plugs that you're using, and yeah, you just wanna be safe in this regard. Okay guys, the next step we need to do is we need to install HiveOS on the SSD, because we want to turn on this whole rig just with the power supply and the motherboard first, because that's just best practice. You want to make sure the heart of your mining rig works before you add in the GPUs. Okay, so we want to make sure we see HiveOS acknowledge all of our motherboard and SSD and everything before we plug in the GPUs. It's just best practice to do that, just to make sure it's all, you know, stable and stuff in HiveOS. All right, so let's go into the computer. We're gonna switch screens here, and I will see you guys in installing the Kingston SSD. And we'll need this USB to SATA adapter. I'll have a link down below just so you guys understand which part you need to install HiveOS, as well as any SSD. So in our case, we have 120 gigabyte SSD. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the computer. Let's do this. Okay, my friends, here we are. We are in the computer. I'm going to show you guys very thoroughly, step by step, how to get HiveOS onto the SSD, make your account, all that stuff. So first, there's a link down below. Feel free to go and click on HiveOS if you're going to use HiveOS for mining. All right, so I have an affiliate link there. I get a little kickback every time you guys use that if you're going to sign up. So thank you very much. Create your new account, log in, password, and register. And you should get an email to confirm. Then you'll want to log in. Okay, go to the next step in logging into your account after you confirmed it. So let me just log in real quick here, put in my credentials. It's always best to also set your 2FA. Okay, and here we are. So normally you should have nothing here, and this is my test account, I'm sorry, but normally it'll say to create a test farm, and if not, you don't see that, click the plus sign at the top right up here, and you'll have to create a new farm. Okay, so we're gonna call this RPM test farm. Yeah, there we go. I think I have one here already, but I'm going to delete that. So anyways, it should automatically go into your farm here, and you should have nothing, no workers or anything. So that's going to be the next step. All right, now you'll want to go and download HiveOS. Okay, so we're going to download for the GPU HiveOS image, stable version. So that's going to be the zip file here. Just simply click on that, and it should pop up with the save as folder. So we're going to put that in our downloads folder. Should be the default anyway. You should see it download here. So that's going to take a little bit. Next, we are going to install Balena Etcher. This is just to flash the HiveOS image onto the SSD. Okay, so we're going to simply download it here, and I'll have it linked down below. You guys go to balena.io, and we're going to also save that in our downloads folder. And after that downloads, just click on it to open it up and install it. You have to install it on your PC, whatever PC you're using, whether that's your desktop or a laptop, doesn't matter. And they also have a Mac version as well. Okay, so just in case you want to install that. Okay, and then it should open up right away, and that's it. Okay, so now the next step we want to do is we want to, let's go back and just see, it's still downloading the HiveOS image. So next step is we're going to simply plug in the SSD. Okay, so unpack your SSD, plug in the USB to SATA adapter in, and then you're going to go to your PC, your laptop or whatever, and plug it into a USB port. All right, and that's it. Next up, then you're going to go into Balena Etcher, and you're going to flash from file. Okay, so another couple seconds here, the download will finish. Just going to give it a bit. Okay, so the download just finished. Now you're going to go back to Balena Etcher here, and you're going to go flash from file. And this is where we're going to select the HiveOS image that we just downloaded into your downloads folder. Okay, so you're going to click on that, double click. And now we're going to select the target, which is the SSD that we just plugged in into your computer. Okay, so we're going to click on that. Make sure you select that and hit select. Okay, and then now we're going to flash. So click this flash button, and this may come up, and just hit yes on that screen if a security prompt comes up, and it should start flashing. Okay, so flash will be complete, and that's it. Now you can just simply close Balena Etcher. You want to go to the File Explorer at the bottom here, and just make sure you can see the HiveOS. You know, it should pop up, but if it doesn't, you simply have to unplug the USB all right, that has the SSD plugged in. So we're just going to do that right now. And then we're going to plug that back in. And maybe, yeah, it should pop up right here. So you just have to simply unplug the USB and plug it back into your computer. Now, we can close this, Now you're going to go back to HiveOS Web GUI. We're going to go add a rig. Okay, so then we're going to go connect existing. All right, and you're going to go to settings tab right here. And now you're going to click on this rig.config right on the right here. Okay, click on that. And you want to save this into the Hive, the drive here that just showed up. Okay, so for me, it's going to be the D drive. May be different for you guys, but simply click on the Hive. All right, and you want to save it right in the open here. Okay, and you simply have to hit save. And that's it. Next step that I usually do as well is change the name of the mining rig. Very simple. I'm going to call this the RTX 3060-01. And I do that just because maybe I'm going to have multiple 3060 rigs, or name it whatever you guys want. And then you're going to hit update worker. And there we go. So that's it. Now the next step, you want to eject the Hive drive. Okay. And actually we can't do that from here. You're going to have to do that from the bottom right of your screen. And you should see this safely remove hardware and eject media. So we're going to click on that, and you want to eject the USB bridge. This is the HiveOS SSD. Okay, so just simply click on that, and there we go. Safely remove the SSD from your computer, the USB that's plugged in, and that's it. So now we're going to take this to our mining rig. Okay, guys, the next step, take out the USB to SATA adapter. You will not need this anymore. Unless you make multiple mining rigs, you can still use the same adapter, because you're going to have to do the same thing for each mining rig. Okay, so we got the SSD. Now we're going to plug the SSD into the motherboard, and now we're going to have to get the supplied SATA adapter that came with your motherboard. We'll most likely have one, and we're also going to plug in the SATA adapter. So let's just do that right now. And let me put my camera down. Okay, so let's do the SATA adapter first. So that's just gonna go straight into here, like that, okay? Next, we're gonna get the SATA adapter, because this is gonna go into the mining motherboard. And that just goes like so, like that. Okay, next step, we're gonna just place the SSD right inside here. And normally you can, tape it down with, I don't know, double-sided tape or something, but I'm just gonna let it rest there. That's no problem. Now we're gonna take the other side of the SATA cable and simply plug it into the motherboard, like so, just like that, okay? And my SSD is gonna sit just like that. We'll do cable management later. There we go. Everything is ready to go, and we'll see if HiveOS will notice it in the web GUI. Okay, so that's the main thing we want to do first. Like I said, best practice. All right, so we need to plug in the Ethernet cable for internet, which is gonna go right here. You guys will probably need to get maybe a network switch, depending how you're gonna run your setup. So for instance, I have a little 5-port network switch here, and this red cable, this red Ethernet cable, is going to my router. Okay, and so yeah, simple. These other 4 here are going to my other mining rigs, my test mining rigs, but then I do have another cable here that's extra that's gonna go into the mining rig over here. So let me just grab that right now. I think it's on the floor here, yeah. Right here, okay, and then this is gonna go in the motherboard like so, just like that. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is the power cable for the power supply. So in my case here, you could either do 120 volt, but in my case I'm doing 240 volt. All right, and so yeah, I'm gonna be having multiple mining rigs running on this. And for those that don't understand what 120 volt or 240 volt is, the difference is that I have a lot more capacity. So with 30 amp 240 volt, I can go up to about, the maximum is 7,200 watts. But if you do the 80% rule, that's going to be about 5,700 watts. Okay, but on a 120 volt 15 amp breaker, you're only going to be able to go up to maximum 1800 watts. And then if you want to do the 80% rule, which you should do, that's about 1500 watts. Okay, so you got to be mindful of what you're going to be plugging into, because a 120 volt 15 amp is going to have probably multiple of those plugs shared within one room, and that's going to have other stuff plugged into it, right? Just not mining rigs. Maybe your, I don't know, a fridge or a TV or something. So I do have a video talking about how do I power my mining rigs. Check that video out and it'll help you understand how to power whether you're doing it on 120 and or you're going to be hopefully doing it on 240 volt and 30 amp, because it's going to be a lot more industrial, thicker power cables, safer power delivery. It's just safer overall. Okay, anyways, I just plugged in the power. Now we're going to hit the power button, and if my memory serves me correctly, this mining motherboard should already turn on automatically. Yeah, everything just turned on, power supply turned on. And yeah, the AC power loss option in the BIOS on this motherboard is already set to on from the factory, all right, from Mining Cave. So yeah, like I said, the BIOS settings are already set. So that's why we didn't have to use a monitor or anything to go into it and set the BIOS settings. So it looks like it's just turning on. Let me go see if HiveOS can see this rig now. Okay, we are at my PC, just the web GUI, so you're just going to go back to your laptop or computer. Now we're going to hit F5 on the keyboard just to refresh the browser, and there we go. So you should no longer see that connect your mining rig. As you can see here, we can see the motherboard, the processor, the SSD, which we just created with HiveOS, and obviously it acknowledges the mining rig. Okay, so it's been up now, it's been, yeah, about 3 minutes, which, yeah, we just turned it on a couple minutes ago, and that is good, guys. So we can see the rig in HiveOS. Obviously, there's no GPUs. That is going to be the next step, okay? So we're going to, before we shut it down, you want to update to the latest version, okay? So you see this little yellow button right here. We're going to click on that, and you're going to click on Force Upgrade and also Reboot After Complete. Hit Upgrade and Command is sent, and it should start upgrading now. So after that, we're going to shut it down. Okay, it's done updating. We're going to shut her down, and now let's go back to the mining rig and add a GPU. Okay, yeah, the rig turned off. Now, next step, my friends, the fun part is we're going to add the GPUs. So let me just do one real quick here, and I'll show you guys how to plug in the power, PCIe, and all that stuff. So actually, since the risers are already on the Mining Cave frame, we're going to grab one of the 6 pins, okay, because we're going to be plugging it into the riser like so. Actually, you know what? We're just going to plug in all 6 of them right now, because we're going to plug in all the GPUs. Normally, I would say another best practice is to plug in one GPU and then turn it on and then just see if it recognizes in HiveOS. So that's another way I recommend doing as well. But we're just going to put in all 6 and just hope that they all turn on and show up in HiveOS. I mean, it will. It 100% will. The other rigs that I made there, it was flawless. So if we run into an issue, I will definitely document it here in this video, guys. So let me just plug in all of these, and they're a little bit, I guess, sticky to plug into the PCIe. So just like so. Okay. 2 more. Go in one into here. And right here. Alright, there we go. Alright, so make sure you triple check all of the connections, especially when you're plugging in the GPUs. Again, another best practice when you're building a mining rig like this. Okay, and as for the cable management, we will worry about that later. Okay, the next step is we're going to be plugging in the GPUs. So let me try to do this with one hand. Let me just do one first. I'm just gonna simply push one in here. Make sure you line it up with the riser, and we're just gonna push it down, and there we go. Okay, so it'll look just like that. And you can lock it in if your riser comes with locks, okay? Just push that in, just like that. Alright, that's in. Now, there's also a screw that we're gonna have to plug in as well, but let me just quickly plug in the rest of these GPUs. Okay, there we go. All 6 GPUs are in. I screwed them to the Mining Cave frame. It's looking good. Okay, the next step is we just got to simply plug in all of these 6 strands into each of the GPU's PCIe power. Ooh, that one went flying. Okay, so we're gonna make sure all of these clips are okay. And I'm gonna do this with one hand, and wow, that was really slick. Okay, just like that, okay? So this cable, the end of the daisy chain, we're not gonna use the daisy chained 8-pin, okay? We're gonna zap strap that later, cable manage that later. Now, simply just plug it into the GPU. All right, each strand will get its own GPU. So we're gonna do this 6 times. All right, let's do it in a snap here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, all the 8 pins are into the GPUs. Now I want to do some cable management before we plug in the USB to PCIe X1 adapters from the USB risers into the motherboard, okay? So we'll do that after. Yeah, I just want to cable manage this. I'm kind of OCD, and I got a bunch of cable ties here and some cutters, and we're going to make it look nice before we put these in. So let me do that right now. How does that look? It's not perfect, but it's something. Okay, so there's the cable management. Now we're gonna put in the USB cables, each into the 6 risers, going into the motherboard. So let me do that real quick. Let me do one as an example so you guys know what to do here times 6. Okay, so we're gonna plug in the USB end into the riser, just like so. Very easy. And then the other end is going to go, this end here, which has the X1 adapter, is going to go into the motherboard. We're going to put it into the first slot over here, okay? And make sure you put it in the right way, not this way, because that will burn, okay? You got to make sure you do it like this, okay? This orientation, because yeah, like I said, it may burn if you do it the other way or short circuit, okay? So we're going to do that 6 times, guys. Be right back, and it'll be cable managed. Okay, here we go. USBs are all in. All right, and they're going into the motherboard like so. All right, that looks really good. Nice and clean, nice and cable managed. I mean, you guys don't have to cable management, but sometimes you want to make sure it looks nice. Totally up to you. All right, my friends. So next step, you got them all plugged in. Triple check all the cables are in fully. Next step, we're just gonna simply turn it on with the power button. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and you need to verify all the risers are on, and looks like they are. Just perfect. All the fans are moving. Okay, so next step, now we need to configure HiveOS and get all the overclocking settings and all the flight sheets and your wallets in to get it mining Ethereum or Ravencoin or Ergo. So we're gonna try those 3 in the rest of the video here. I'm gonna make sure it all works and mining, and we're gonna show you guys the power consumption at the wall. Okay, so I will have to turn off my other rigs here, my A2000 and 6600 XT rig, just to get the power consumption for this whole thing. Okay, so I will see you guys in the computer. We will set up Ethereum mining first, and then we'll do Ravencoin, and then we'll do Ergo. And I'll show you the power consumption in between each coin. So see you guys in the computer. All right, so we are in HiveOS. You can see the rig here, just booted up like a minute ago. We are going to now just set up the wallets, flight sheets, and overclocks to get this rig mining for Ethereum. Like I said, we will do Ravencoin and Ergo later on. All right, so HiveOS. So when you go to your farm, like you click on the name at the top here, it says RPM test farm, whatever farm that you guys name it, that's one that you will click on. You can have multiple farms if you'd like as well. You will just have to go click on back to HiveOS, this button at the top left, and you can create more farms if you'd like. But in my test here, I have 2 different tests because I have other rigs as I'm testing stuff right now. So let's go back to our RPM test farm, and you can see the 3060 rig here. So it says missing the flight sheet. Well, that's because we haven't made any flight sheet or anything, and that is why it is not mining yet. Okay, so first things first, we are going to add an Ethereum address. So that's the first thing we need to do. Go to Wallets tab here, and you're going to be adding your wallet. Now, this is something where, you know, a lot of people ask, where can I get an Ethereum address? And there are multiple different sources where you can get one. So the one that I recommend obviously is through hardware wallets like a Trezor or Ledger wallet, you know, such as ledger.com here. You guys can go check it out. These are pretty popular, Ledger Nano X or S's. And then if you wanted like a hot wallet on your phone per se, like Trust Wallet is one that I like myself. But just be careful. This is on your phone. If you lose your phone, you know, and someone gets a hold of it, you know, they can go in and send your crypto out. But of course, you can set a passcode on your phone, and you can also set a password for Trust Wallet as well for that additional security. So Trust Wallet, Zelcore is another popular one that they have on iOS and Android, and also for desktop such as Windows as well. Okay, so this is a great one, a solution that has Ethereum and a bunch of other coins as well. All that I talk about here, Ledger or Trust Wallet or Zelcore, they will have other coins available to get an address from as well. Okay, and finally, there is, you know, you can get an exchange wallet, Ethereum address from an exchange. Okay, so Binance, Coinbase, a bunch of these different exchanges that have Ethereum and a bunch of other coins as well. So same thing applies. So you can get a deposit address from these exchanges, and that's what you use. So that is the address that you will be mining to theoretically. Okay, so let's go back to HiveOS. Once you get your Ethereum address, adding the new wallet, coin. So we're going to do Ethereum here. Address. Let me just get my test wallet address, and I'm just going to paste it right here. There we go. Name, you can give it whatever name you like. I'm just going to call it Ethereum. You can give it a source if you'd like, if you have it from an exchange or a wallet or anything, just so you can get the balance of it, but I normally don't do that. Okay, and then we're going to hit create. And there we go. You have your wallet in HiveOS now. I mean, it's not theoretically, the coins won't be going into your HiveOS account. It's going to be going to the Ethereum address. Okay, so if that makes sense, where you have your Ledger wallet, it's on the blockchain. Okay, it's not on the device itself. It's just the private keys that you are going to be saving, and make sure you don't share them amongst anyone, especially if you're going to be using like a hardware wallet or, you know, a software wallet, hot wallet on your phone, or even Zelcore. You know, you want to keep the private keys to yourself written down. You don't want to have it anywhere digitally so nobody can use to send or receive your crypto. All right, so anyways, going along, there's the wallet. Next up, we got flight sheets. Let's go to flight sheets. Now, this is where we need to add a flight sheet. So we're going to do that. Click on that button. Now we're going to add Ethereum, and the wallet is the one that we just created. Okay, the one that you're going to be mining to. Pool is the one, you're going to choose the mining pool that you would like. Okay, so if you're going to be using HiveOS, most likely if you're just starting out, you're going to have one mining rig. I would probably just go ahead and mine on Hivon, as the first rig will be free, okay, to mine on HiveOS. There are many other mining pools out there that you can mine to. Just go ahead, if you want to do your research, check them all out, see which one that you like, and, you know, maybe others are mining to as well. It's really hard to gauge to see which one is the most profitable. Everyone always asks that question, but generally the profitability is going to be the same amongst a lot of the top pools here. Okay, so anyways, we're just going to choose Hivon just for this example today, and you may get the configure pool here. All right, so depending where you live, you want to check the pool latency. Okay, this is the most important thing, as you know, you want to see where your mining rig, where you live, that you want to have the lowest latency to mine in. All right, so if you're on the west side of USA, most likely you're going to be mining to US West. If you're on the east side of USA, then, and depending on your latency, or if you're in the middle, it's hard to choose between both, right? So we're going to have the mining rig being, it's going to be pinging these servers just to see which one gives you the lowest latency. So there you go. So we're going to be mining to US West. That is the one that is closest for me. So I'm going to be selecting that. And I'm also going to be selecting the North America, Canada as a backup. All right. So there you go. You're going to hit apply. All right. And again, if you don't get that pop-up, just hit the configure pool, and you will get this whole thing. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to select the miner. That is the last part here. And since these are NVIDIA cards, there are many different mining software out there. There's The popular ones right now, as of recording, I would say is T-Rex miner, NB miner, LOL miner. The one that we're going to use today is going to be T-Rex miner, all right, for this demonstration. And that's it. You don't need to change anything in the configuration. There are a bunch of different, arguments, batch file commands that you can put into HiveOS here, such as, if you have different GPUs like AMD and NVIDIA cards together, then you may need to select the devices specifically to mine on T-Rex miner. Okay, so maybe your GPUs are number 4, 5, and 6 on the rig, and then you have AMD cards on 3, 2, and 1, and 0, for instance. And then, yeah, you're going to have to change that up. So, but anyways, we're going to hit apply changes. We're going to create the flight sheet. You can give it a name as well. I'm just going to call it the Ethereum flight sheet. You can call it whatever you'd like. Going to hit create. And there we go. So we have the flight sheet now. Okay, now we're going to go back to workers. All right. Go back, click onto the 3060 Ti rig, or 3060 rig, sorry. And now we're going to do the overclocking. All right, this is the next step to make sure we are not using the full power, the full TDP of these cards, because that will not be efficient. All right, so simply there's two ways you can go about it. You can click on the overclocking tab, or you can click on this little button right here. It says all, which is overclocking for all. So we're just going to do that. And since we have all 3060s, it makes things a lot easier. Okay, when you're building mining rigs that have the same GPUs, it makes it much easier because you just need to put in the overclock settings once. All right, so for this demonstration, I believe we should be using the absolute core clock, but I think with these 3060s, in my opinion, in my testing, they seem to do a lot better when you have not using absolute core clock. All right, so we're just going to do plus 100 here. Mem clock, I'm going to do 2000, just a medium general overclock setting here. You can go much higher if you'd like. You just have to test, you just have to go up and down numbers to see how your rig, fares in those hash rates, if it makes a difference or not. Fan, I'm just going to do 60, and power limit, I'm going to do 110 here. Okay, then we're going to hit save. And now, so it's going to be applying the overclock settings. We're going to now apply the flight sheet. Okay, you're going to go back to flight sheet. And now you just have to click on this flight button on the right. And it's also going to apply the config. All right, so in theory, yeah, now it should start mining. Okay, so yeah, just give it a little bit. There is a refresh button at the top right. We're just going to click that. And there we go. It looks like, yeah, it's already mining 35 mega hash. 36 mega hash for some. Looks like it's probably going to start auto-tuning as, yeah, T-Rex miner. These are LHR cards, so it may take a while, 15 to 30 minutes, maybe more, to, pick the final LHR, like, default numbers. I think it's LHR 74, maybe 75 or something. But you can see here, generally, in the software, it shows that we're getting about 109, 108 watts per GPU, and the whole rig itself shows 653 watts. So that is now, guys, we got it mining on Ethereum. Now let's go out and just see how much power at the wall this rig is taking. All right, so it's mining Ethereum, and at the wall, actually, we're gonna have to turn off the other mining rigs because, yeah, the numbers, it's over, 1600 watts, so that's not the exact mining rig that's getting that much power. These other two rigs are drawing power as well. So we're just going to simply turn these other ones off just temporarily so that we can see. All right, so that just turned off. Okay, so all right, that 3060 rig is drawing about 745 watts. It's fluctuating because, yeah, they're LHR cards. So there you go. This whole rig for mining Ethereum right now is almost about 215 mega hash for about 35 mega hash for each of the GPUs. So if you're wondering if this is efficient for Ethereum mining compared to other GPUs, no. Like the A2000s and also the 6600 XTs are going to be definitely a lot more efficient than the 3060s. But I'm going to say that this rig, the 3060s, are going to be a lot stronger on other algorithms such as Ravencoin and Ergo. So you know what? Let's do that now. So you guys saw the power consumption for Ethereum. let's go ahead and set up this rig for mining Ravencoin, and let's see what the power consumption and numbers that we can get there. All right, so I'll see you in the computer. All right, guys, so we are back on the website, the web GUI for HiveOS, and yeah, you guys can see this rig is mining about 213 mega hash. Actually, the number shows at the top here as well, current numbers. And yeah, it's been going good for about let's see, about an hour now and 9 minutes as of recording. So pretty stable, pretty good. You guys saw the power consumption at the wall versus the software number. Anyways, let's go ahead, and we want to do Ravencoin now. Okay, so we got to start adding the Ravencoin wallet first before we make the flight sheet. So again, same thing as Ethereum, we're going to add a wallet. We're going to go to coin, we're going to go Ravencoin, address, put in your address. Now, some of you guys may be asking, Red Panda, where do you get a Ravencoin address? Again, you can do it on ledgers, Trezors, or actually, I'm not sure if Trezor supports it or not, but Trust Wallet has a Ravencoin deposit or receive addresses, and as well as Zelcore has it as well. And alternatively, you can do it through exchanges. There's a lot of exchanges that have Ravencoin as well if you want to deposit there and trade it or sell it, whatever, it's up to you. Okay, give it a name. Just going to call it RVN. Going to hit create. There we go. So there's the Ravencoin wallet address. Now we go to flight sheet tab, as we need to create a whole new flight sheet because we have one for Ethereum already. So we're going to go to coin. Going to go to Raven. Okay, click on your Raven wallet that you just created. Pool. There are many mining pools, but for this example, we're just going to do 2 miners, and this should come up, and we're just going to do US. Depending on which mining pool you're going to be mining to, not many of them have different options. So you, like 2 miners, for example, they only have just basically one. One is a high diff rating. I would normally just go for the regular US mining pool, which is totally fine. Gonna hit apply, and then the miner, you just need, again, we're gonna use T-Rex because I like that one for Ravencoin. So we're gonna hit, that's it, create flight sheet, and there we go. That's it. We're gonna go back to workers, and for the Ravencoin overclocking, okay, click on the worker, and you go back to here. Now, some people may be asking, Red Panda, do we need to change the overclocks for this? And since I'm not using absolute core clock, I like these numbers for these 3060s specifically. So I'm going to keep it as is, and we're just going to enable the flight sheet now. So go to the flight sheet tab, and you're going to click on this flight sheet button. Okay. And now it's going to start switching over to mining Ravencoin to your Ravencoin address. All right. Go back to overview. And we're just going to give it a bit. It's going to take a couple minutes to switch over, and we're going to hit refresh and see what the numbers are. Okay, we're going to hit the refresh button. It's been about a couple minutes, and right off the bat, we're getting 19 to 21 mega hash mining Ravencoin on this rig. Okay, the exact same power consumption. It looks like 660 watts. I guess we will see at the wall in 1 second, but there you guys go. We're mining Ravencoin. It's very simple. And what I just did, like adding the wallet, like you guys can do this with a bunch of other coins. So if we go back to add wallet, you can see here, here's Ergo, here's Ethereum Classic, you know, a lot of different coins here. Firo, LTC, LTC is not GPU mineable. You have to use ASICs for that, but Aeon, you know, there's a lot of different coins here. So that's how you add the wallet address corresponding to the flight sheet. When you create the flight sheet of the coin that you want to mine, it will grab that wallet. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Anyways, let's just see here. Let me refresh. I'm just wondering if it was still like auto tuning or something like that, but it looks like we're getting about 20 mega hash per 3060. All right, you could probably raise the PL, the power limit, to gain a little bit more mega hash. And actually, I just wanted to show you an example. I raised the power limit to 120, and you can see the mega hash did rise up. Okay, about 2 mega hash per GPU. So I think in total right now, we are getting 131 mega hash for this whole rig, but at a 720 watts. So anyways, let's go outside and we'll see what the power consumption is. All right, it's mining Ravencoin, and the power consumption at the wall shows 810 to 814 watts. So this is using the power limit at 120. All right, so let me try 110 so we can see what the difference is here. Let me just quickly change that. Okay, so we dropped down to 110 PL, and you can see we're now at 745 watts, 750 watts at the wall. So we did drop about, 60, 70 watts or so, but we did drop about, I would say, 1 to 2 mega hash per GPU. Okay, so if you wanted to figure out, your efficiency, all you have to do is divide the mega hash with the watts. Okay, and that's how you can see which one is more efficient. And yeah, so in my case, I think the lower power consumption, I think, may be a little bit more efficient. I'll have to do the numbers, but actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe the higher power consumption may yield more mega hash. Therefore, obviously, you'll get more of the coin because it's computing a lot more, and theoretically, you should find more shares on the mining pool. Thus, you will get more of the yield of the Ravencoin. Anyways, guys, that's the numbers for Ravencoin on this 3060 rig you saw there. Now, let's go back to the computer and let's finish this video off with Ergo. All right, my friends. Okay, so here is, just to finalize for you guys, the Ravencoin hash rate. So we are getting, one of the GPUs is only getting 17 mega hash with the same overclock numbers. Now, I just want to touch on, if that's happening, you may need to boost just the power. I bet you this is Silicon Lottery. Not all of the GPUs are made the same, right? Everyone should know that. So we're going to get fluctuations in terms of mega hash amongst the same GPUs. Okay, not all GPUs are made the same. So if you wanted to get the same number or anything like that, you're just gonna have to boost some numbers here, most likely the PL for the Ravencoin mining. Anyways, guys, let's do Ergo. All right, so we're gonna have to add a Ergo wallet. So go to the wallet tab, go back to your farm, and then go to the wallet tab, and we're gonna have to add a wallet, and the coin is gonna be ERG. You can also type that in. Address, I have one, and you guys are gonna ask, where, Red Panda, where do you get an Ergo wallet? And this is gonna be a little bit harder. Okay, so I mean, it's not hard, there's just limited wallets out there that support Ergo at the moment. Okay, so on Ergo's website, ergoplatform.org, they tell you which wallets that they think is supported, and also great to use. So they got their, Ergo wallet, they got the Ergo Android wallet, they got Yoroi, I don't know if I pronounced that right, and Via wallet, okay, for mobile iOS. So in my demonstration, I'm using the Ergo wallet Android just as a test, but there are exchanges out there that have Ergo as well. Okay, so you can get a wallet addresses there, but again, centralized exchanges, they could be hacked and your coins could be gone, right, potentially. So it's good to be your own bank and be responsible of your own the private keys and the wallets. Okay, so anyways, adding the wallet address in HiveOS here, name, I'm just gonna give it Ergo, and we're gonna hit create. So there's the coin address in the wallets tab here. Now we're gonna have to create the flight sheet that's gonna correspond with the 3060 rig. Coin, again, ERG, wallet, already just created that. Ergo, pool, select your mining pool, and 2 miners is another one that they have Ergo as well, but it looks like they only have 1 server, which is in EU, so maybe that might not be best for me. Let's just check, let's see if Hero Miners has a USA pool. Yeah, they do, USA West, so that's good for me. All right, I'm gonna hit apply, and the miner, I'm gonna have to say, I think I like NB Miner for Ergo. And that's the one that I think some people use recently, and it seems to be pretty good. All right, and that's it. You don't have to set up the miner config. I think this is all defaulted anyway. Gonna hit apply, create the flight sheet. You can give it a name if you'd like, but we're just gonna create it. And there we go. Okay, so now let's apply this flight sheet to the worker in question here. So go back to the 3060 rig, gonna go to the flight sheet tab, and you're gonna hit Ergo. All right, this flight button on the right here. Okay, and it should apply. Alternatively, you could, there is another way. If you go back to the farm out here, if you see the workers like this, you can select the worker here and also select the flight sheet this way as well. Okay, and just click on it and hit yes. I like to go through it one by one just so I know that it's good. And yeah, okay, so the rig, it looks like it's going to, it's just ramping up. And just while that's going, I just want to explain maybe a few more things in case you guys are watching this far. You can see, you know, when you've changed settings, these are just like little messages. And you can remove all these messages if you don't like seeing them. So you just have to click this trash bin button and it'll all go away. All right, so pretty good. All right, okay, so it looks like it's ramping up now. Ergo here, we're getting 95.74 mega hash. And you know what? Let's just see. Let's just wait a couple minutes here. Okay, so actually I changed a lot of overclock numbers here. It took me a while to just test it all out, but I think I finalized that we are going to be using absolute core clock for Ergo on these 3060s, which are LHR, are at V2s. So the number that I came to conclude is that around 1199 on the absolute core clock. Mem clock 2550. Fan, this can be whatever you want, depends how hot your ambient temperatures are around your place. Power limit, you do not need to put in power limit because you're already locking the voltage because of absolute core clock here. All right, and yeah, hit save, and you can see we are getting about 100 mega hash now, 101, almost 102 for some of them. And you can see the power consumption is extremely low, about 85, 81, 84 watts, or 502 watts in the software for the whole rig. Okay, so we are gonna now see, yeah, that's really good. Let's go to the wall now and see how much power it's taking. Okay, so Ergo, we are now at 565, 62 watts. That's extremely low. Oh, wow. That's really good. Yeah, and the software we're showing about 505 watts, but looks like we've added on another 60 watts because of the motherboard, CPU, and everything else. Okay, so that is the Ergo power consumption at the wall for this 6x3060 rig, guys. Now, some of you guys may be asking, Red Panda, which coin is most profitable right now for mining on this 3060 rig? So the numbers that we got today, let's go back into the computer and let's go to what to mine, and we'll put in all the numbers that we achieved today as well as the power consumptions, and we'll see which is going to be the most profitable as of recording right now. Okay guys, so I'll see you in the computer. All right guys, so we are in whattomine.com and I've already inputted my numbers that I got in terms of mega hash on ETH hash, which is for Ethereum, the power consumption, as well as Kapow for Ravencoin and Autolycos for Ergo. All right, so there are the numbers there. And now we're going to do cost per kilowatt hour. We're just going to do average, which is about 10 cents. We're going to sort by, you know what, let's do current profit and current difficulty as of recording right now, which is December 6th. So we're going to hit calculate. And we can see here that Ethereum is going to be the most profitable coin to mine on this 6x RTX 3060 rig. And then the next coin up is going to be Ergo, by the looks of it, and then Ravencoin. So, I mean, yeah, both of these coins are still profitable at $8.76, but Ethereum mining at this moment shows $13.23. Now, if we just did something, for example, the profitability last 7 days, average last 7 days, so just a longer term outlook here, the past 7 days, you can see that, yeah, Ethereum is most profitable on this rig, okay, at $13.41 a day after electric. Okay, if you had free electric, you would be netting about $15 a day, but you can see the yields here of Ethereum is about 0.0033 Ethereum a day. Or an Ergo, you can get about 1.7 Ergo a day, which is awesome. And Ravencoin, this whole rig would be achieving 114 or 115 Ravencoin roughly a day. Okay, so looking at the yield numbers here, that's pretty good for Ravencoin and Ergo. But on Ethereum, it's pretty brutal right now. That's because a lot of people are mining it, and obviously the price has gone up a lot versus what the network difficulty is currently and what the network hash rate is. Yeah, there just hasn't been enough of that hash rate to fulfill to take over the profitability, to garner the profitability right now. So yeah, it's really nice to mine right now as of recording to get these numbers, get these profits if you guys are basically selling every day or every week or every month or something. But there you guys go. That's the numbers. Okay, let's go back out to the rig. I want to just conclude this video talking about this rig build that we just did today. Alright, so here's the temperatures of the rig now. I'm mining Ethereum, and I have to add the fan grill. I forgot to do that, so let's do that right now. We're gonna see if we can lower the, the temperatures, which you guys just saw in HiveOS there, without any fans. So I'm just gonna add this fan bar that Mining Cave just made me. So let me just add it to the rig. I gotta turn it all off, and actually before we turn it off, we'll see how much power, extra power, this fan hub is gonna take. So right now we're at 745, 43, 40 watts. Okay, so let me add the fan grill right now. Okay, with the fans added, we've added like another 10 watts, less than 10 watts, from 740, 45 to 750 to 55 watts. All right, so these are the 4 fans that I added to the mining rig. Very easy. The Molex cable going into the 4-pin Molex onto that cable there. Same with the SATA cable. Okay guys, there we go. That's it. This was the longest how to build a 3060 mining rig I think I have ever done. So just to conclude for you all, I think this mining rig is great. It's very versatile, especially the GPUs in that aspect. And what I mean by versatile is that this rig can mine a lot of different coins out there. You have the ability to mine different coins and also profit in many other ways. Rather just mining Ethereum, you could mine, Firo, you could mine like Ergo or Ravencoin, which I showed in today's video. I didn't show Firo, but there's Flux as well. Many different coins out there that you can mine on this rig because NVIDIA cards, specifically like these RTX 3060s, these are going to be really good at mining those other coins, just not Ethereum. And as you guys know, with Ethereum, they're going to be moving away from proof of work in the next, I think as of recording this video, the next 6 to 8 months. So that's something to be wary about, as when Ethereum moves off, then all that hash rate may potentially move over to those other coins, and then the profitability, it could be a lot less, right? Dependent on the price of those coins at the time and the network hash rates and all that stuff. So if you decide to build a rig like this, you will have the ability to mine different coins. Whether or not it will be profitable or not begs the question. And so like other strategies out there a lot of people do, such as myself, is when during the bear market, I continue to mine because as the network hash rate is much lower, you're able to yield a lot more of the coin, okay? And then basically what you're doing then is hodling those coins up until the next cycle, right? The next bull run, whenever that happens, if that happens, not financial advice, but as we've seen, those kind of things happen. And so this rig, if some people are wondering, how much, Red Panda, how much would this rig cost to buy right now? And I'm gonna say the rig kit from Mining Cave, just everything together is about $1,100 or so, or $1,000. And then the GPUs, you have to find the GPUs, and the GPUs can be priced a lot of different ways depending where you live. But just theoretically, let's just say these 3060s, you can get them for about 500 bucks. And 5 times 6, that's going to be about $3,000 plus the rig kit from Mining Cave. So another, I would say, let's just say $4,500 with tax for this whole rig right now if you were to build it. And I guess the question a lot of people ask is, Red Panda, how long will it take to break even or ROI on this rig? And yeah, so you guys saw, if you had 10 cents kilowatt hour, you'd make about $13 a day. So 13 times 30, right? So that's going to be, I would say, about less than $400 a month. $400 times 12 months, right? That's going to be about less than $5,000, I think $4,800. So yeah, this rig theoretically, as of right now, would pay itself off in less than a year. But that's if the profitability numbers stay the same. It could be a lot longer if the bear market comes. It could be a lot less. This rig could pay itself off in less than 12 months if the prices of crypto decide to keep going up and up and up. And if the network hash rates and difficulty relatively stay the same, then yeah, the profitability is going to be much better. The fiat numbers that you see on what to mine, which I just showed you guys, it's going to be much better. So that's a risk that, if you're going to be getting into GPU mining, that you will be willing to take. GPU mining has been around now for a long time, and there are many strategies when it comes to trying to profit off of GPU mining. You have to weather the storm, weather the cycles, understand the different strategies that are out there. But anyways, guys, this 3060 rig, I really love it. I really like these GPUs. It's, oh man, the rig kits from Mining Cave, Thank you again to Mining Cave for sending me a bunch of the frames. Oh man, I need to turn these back on. These have been off for a while. And as some people may be wondering, Red Panda, why are you stacking the GPUs, the rig kits like this? And yeah, I'm building like a Mining Cave tower. All right, and so I got 2 rigs already built, and I just built this 3060 rig, right? So I'm gonna place this one on top of there, okay? And then I have one more 6600 XT rig to build, and I'm thinking of, yeah, I'm gonna do another video about this. I'm trying to think of another way that I can present this rig build. If you guys can let me know down below how you would like me to present it. If you want me to do the exact same thing that I did today in this like over 1 hour video long, showing you like everything, like HiveOS settings and stuff, like that's like half the battle when it comes to setting up a mining rig. Let me know down below, all right, my friends? So, okay, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts of anything else that I missed or anything else you want to know. I'll do my best to answer in the comments down below. I appreciate you all for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Links down below to everything that I talked about if you feel like buying any of this stuff. All right, have a good one, and peace out.